The Dying Station. A discovery in the dark. The Galactic Research Station Kepler-7 floated silently in the void between stars, its metallic surface reflecting the distant light of a dying sun. Inside, Dr. Sarah Chen worked alone in the botany lab, surrounded by the last surviving plants from Earth. Earth. The word still hurt to think about. Sarah pressed her palm against the environmental glass, watching the small garden inside. Tomatoes hung heavy on their vines. Wheat stalks swayed in the artificial breeze. A single apple tree stood in the center, its branches laden with red fruit that would never be eaten by the people who first cultivated it. 3 months ago, Earth had fallen silent. No transmissions. No responses. Just silence that screamed louder than any distress signal. The Galactic Council had declared Earth a quarantine zone. Whatever had happened there, plague, war, catastrophic systems failure, was too dangerous to investigate. Humanity's 37 colony worlds were now orphaned, cut off from their home world by bureaucratic fear and alien caution. Sarah was one of 8 humans stationed on Kepler-7, conducting agricultural research for the Council's member species. She'd been here for 2 years, studying how Earth crops could be adapted for alien environments. Now she was a refugee, and her research had become a memorial. The delegation arrives. The station's alert chime interrupted her thoughts. Sarah checked her terminal. A council delegation ship had just docked. Unexpected. Unscheduled. She made her way to the docking bay, joining the station's director, a tall Valkyrie named Thresh with blue-scaled skin and golden eyes that never blinked. Dr. Chen, Thresh translator, rendered his hissing speech into flat English. The delegation wishes to see you specifically. Me? Why? They did not say. The airlock cycled, and 5 figures emerged. Sarah recognized their species from her training. 2 Valkyrie diplomats. A Threne scientist with tentacles instead of arms. A Horrocks military officer whose 4 legs clicked against the metal floor. And at the center, a Quillid elder, their crystalline body refracting light into rainbow patterns. The Quillid spoke first, their voice like wind chimes. Dr. Sarah Chen. We require your expertise. My expertise is in botany, Sarah said carefully. Council delegations didn't appear without reason, and those reasons were rarely good for humans lately. Precisely why we are here. The Quillid gestured with one faceted limb. We need you to break protocol. The impossible request. They moved to a conference room, and the Quillid elder activated a holographic display. Images appeared, a planet Sarah had never seen, covered in purple vegetation and pink oceans. This is Theraxis Prime, the Quillid explained. Home to 17 billion Theraxians. 6 months ago, a blight began spreading through their crops. It attacks their primary food sources, the Karathi grains that sustain their civilization. Sarah leaned forward, studying the images. The blight was aggressive, spreading across continents in weeks. Entire growing regions had turned black. Have you tried standard fungicides? Genetic modification of resistant strains? Everything, the Threne scientist interjected, their tentacles writhing anxiously. We have exhausted all known solutions from 47 different species agricultural databases. The blight adapts faster than we can counter it. Then what can I do? The Quillid's crystalline body seemed to dim. We need Earth crops. Sarah's blood went cold. Earth is under quarantine. We know. That is why we need you to break protocol. The Quillid pulled up new images, Earth, beautiful and blue, exactly as Sarah remembered. Preliminary scans suggest Earth's biosphere is intact. Thriving, even. Whatever silenced your people did not harm the planet itself. You want me to go to Earth. We want you to retrieve seeds, genetic samples, living plants. Earth's crops are uniquely resilient. They evolved on a death world with extreme conditions, your planet's aggressive climate, its violent weather, its competitive ecosystem. This is precisely what Theraxis Prime needs. Hardy species that can outcompete the blight. Sarah's mind raced. Return to Earth. See what happened to her home. But the quarantine existed for a reason. If whatever killed Earth's population is still active, we will provide full containment suits and decontamination protocols, the Horrocks officer interrupted, his translated voice gruff. The mission team will consist of yourself and 3 security specialists. Automated systems only. No direct exposure to whatever may remain. And if I refuse? The Quillet's colors shifted to darker hues. 17 billion Thraxians will starve within 8 months. Their government is already rationing food. Civil unrest has begun. Without intervention, Thraxis Prime will collapse into chaos and death on a scale the galaxy has not witnessed in millennia. Sarah looked at the hologram again. 17 billion lives. The number was incomprehensible, yet each one was a person with dreams and families and futures hanging by a thread. When do we leave? Journey to the silent world. The ship was small and fast, designed for covert operations. Sarah spent the 3-day journey studying Thraxian biology and agriculture, learning how their crops grew, what they needed, what was killing them. The security team kept to themselves, 2 Valkyrie soldiers and a Horrocks combat specialist. They treated Sarah with professional courtesy but obvious distrust. She was human. Her planet had gone dark. Maybe humans were the threat. As they approached Earth's solar system, Sarah felt her heart hammering. Through the viewport, she could see familiar constellations. There was Jupiter, massive and banded. There was Mars, red and dead. And there, ahead, was Earth. It looked exactly as she remembered. Blue oceans. White clouds. Green and brown continents. From space, it appeared perfectly normal, perfectly alive. Scanning for active transmissions, one of the Valkyrie reported. Nothing on any frequency. No orbital traffic. No defense systems responding. Life signs? Sarah asked. Inconclusive. Too much interference from natural sources. We'll know more in orbit. They descended toward North America, targeting the seed vault Sarah had specified, a massive underground facility in the Rocky Mountains designed to preserve genetic diversity. If any place on Earth had survived intact, it would be there. The ship set down in an overgrown parking lot. Through the windows, Sarah could see trees had begun reclaiming the buildings. Vines crawled up concrete walls. The forest was advancing. Atmospheric analysis shows normal composition, the Horrocks reported. Oxygen, nitrogen, trace gases. All within expected parameters. No biological contaminants? None detected. But I recommend full containment protocols regardless. Sarah suited up, checking her seals 3 times. The airlock opened, and she took her first breath of recycled air while standing on Earth for the first time in 2 years. The silence was absolute. No birds. No insects. No distant traffic hum. Just wind through trees and the rustle of leaves. Stay alert, the team leader commanded. We move fast, get the samples, and leave. They approached the vault entrance. The security systems were dead, but the mechanical backup still functioned. Sarah input her override codes, and the massive door groaned open. Inside, the air was cool and dry. Emergency lights flickered to life as they descended into the mountain. Row after row of shelves stretched into the darkness, each holding thousands of seed samples in temperature-controlled storage. It's all here, Sarah breathed. Everything survived. She began collecting samples methodically. Wheat varieties from every continent. Rice strains adapted to different climates. Corn, soybeans, potatoes. Fruits and vegetables in incredible diversity. Every seed represented generations of human cultivation, thousands of years of agricultural knowledge. As she worked, Sarah noticed something strange. The storage logs showed recent activity. Someone had been here. Within the last month. Team leader, she called. I think we're not alone. The Valkyrie's weapon came up instantly. Explain. Sarah showed him the logs. These entries are dated 3 weeks ago. Someone has been maintaining the vault. A sound echoed through the facility. Footsteps. Multiple sets, approaching fast. Defensive positions, the Horrocks barked. Figures emerged from the darkness. Humans. Dozens of them, dressed in practical clothing, carrying tools and weapons. They stopped at the edge of the light, and one stepped forward, an older woman with gray hair and steady eyes. "I'm Dr. Patricia Okoye," she said calmly. "Director of this facility. And you're trespassing. The truth of Earth. Humanity's choice." Sarah stared at Dr. Okoye, her mind struggling to process what she was seeing. Living humans. On Earth. After 3 months of silence. "You're alive," Sarah managed. "All this time, we thought." "We know what you thought." Dr. Okoye's expression was unreadable. That was intentional. The Horrocks security officer's weapon remained raised. "Explain. Now." "Lower your weapon first," Okoye replied coolly. "You're outnumbered 20-1, and we know this facility better than you do. Or we can talk like civilized beings." After a tense moment, the team leader gestured, and his team lowered their weapons. Okoye nodded and stepped closer. 3 months ago, humanity made a choice, she began. The Galactic Council's expansion policies were destroying us. Not militarily, economically, culturally. Earth was becoming a resource extraction point. Our best minds emigrated to alien worlds for better opportunities. Our resources were traded at rates that kept us perpetually in debt. We were dying slowly, bleeding talent and hope. Sarah felt cold. She'd seen the statistics herself, though she'd never connected them into this picture. So we decided to do something unprecedented. We went silent. Every transmission stopped. Every spacecraft grounded. Every orbital platform evacuated to the surface. To the galaxy, Earth appeared to have suffered a catastrophic event. But why? Sarah asked. To save ourselves. Okoye's voice carried conviction born of desperate necessity. Under Council protocols, a planet-wide catastrophe triggers automatic quarantine, no exceptions, no investigations for a minimum of 10 standard years. 10 years to rebuild our civilization on our own terms, without external interference or exploitation. The Valkyrie soldier hissed with anger. You deceived the entire Galactic Council. Violated dozens of treaties. This will have consequences. Will it? Okoye turned to face him directly. By the time the quarantine lifts, Earth will have rebuilt its economy, restructured its industry, and established genuine independence. The Council will find a human civilization that can negotiate from strength rather than weakness. We're not asking for charity or empire, just the right to determine our own future. The weight of billions. Sarah's emotions warred inside her. Part of her understood the logic. Earth had been struggling, exploited by more advanced civilizations. But another part recoiled at the deception, the fear they'd caused to humans scattered across the galaxy. 17 billion Thraxians are starving, Sarah said quietly. That's why we're here. There's a blight destroying their crops. We need Earth's plants, the diversity, the resilience. Without them, an entire civilization will collapse. The certainty in Okoye's expression wavered. 17 billion? Show her, Sarah told the Valkyrie diplomat who'd remained on the ship. Through her suit's display, Sarah projected the images, the spreading blight, the failing crops, the projections of famine and death. The other humans had gathered closer, watching the holographic display. Sarah saw their faces change as they absorbed the scale of what was happening light years away. This isn't about council politics, Sarah continued. This is about people dying. Children who'll never grow up. Parents who'll watch their families starve. Artists, scientists, farmers, teachers, billions of individual lives, all ending because we have something they need and we're keeping it from them. We didn't know, one of the younger humans said. The information blackout meant we couldn't monitor galactic news. Okoye's jaw tightened. This complicates things. How? The Horrocks officer demanded. You hold the solution to a catastrophe. There is no complication, you help, or you condemn billions to death. It's not that simple, Okoye shot back. If we break the quarantine illusion now, if we reveal Earth's deception, the Council will respond with sanctions, embargoes, possibly military action. Humanity's chance to rebuild will be destroyed. Sarah felt something crystallize inside her. So we let them die? 17 billion people, because it's inconvenient for our plans? That's not what I'm saying. Then what are you saying? Sarah's voice rose. Because from where I'm standing, you're calculating whether billions of alien lives are worth the cost to human politics. The silence that followed was heavy with tension. Finally, one of the older men in Okoye's group spoke up. She's right, Patricia. I didn't help orchestrate Earth's silence to become the kind of person who lets civilizations die for strategic advantage. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the other humans. Okoye closed her eyes. If we give you the seeds, how do we maintain the quarantine fiction? Sarah thought quickly. You don't break it yourself. We stole them during an unauthorized quarantine breach. You tried to stop us, but we escaped. Earth remains officially silent. The Council gets what it needs. Humanity keeps its timeline. That could work, the Valkyrie diplomat mused. The mission was already technically illegal, a desperate measure to prevent catastrophe. We add one more violation to the report. The seeds of tomorrow. They worked through the night, humans and aliens side by side. Sarah directed the collection effort, ensuring they gathered the most resilient varieties, drought-resistant wheat, pest-resistant corn, soybeans that could fix nitrogen in poor soil. Tomatoes and peppers that could withstand temperature extremes. The genetic diversity that had made Earth's agriculture nearly indestructible. As dawn approached, they'd loaded the ship with thousands of samples. More than enough to seed their Axis Prime with crops that could outcompete the blight. Okoye walked Sarah to the airlock. What you're doing, it matters. More than our politics, more than our plans. I'm just doing what any human would do, Sarah replied. What we're supposed to do, help people who need it. The galaxy doesn't always see us that way. They see humans as weak, or exploitable, or dangerous. Sarah smiled sadly. Maybe that's because we've been too busy surviving to show them who we really are. But when this works, when their Axis Prime's fields turn green again with Earth crops, they'll remember that humans chose compassion over strategy. That when it mattered most, we helped. She paused at the threshold. 10 years isn't that long, Dr. Okoye. Use them well. Build something worth revealing. We will. And Sarah? Thank you. For reminding us what we're supposed to stand for. The Garden Worlds. The return journey took 3 days. Sarah spent them working with the Thoraxian agricultural scientists remotely, teaching them everything she knew about Earth crops, their requirements, their strengths, their vulnerabilities. These plants are remarkable, the lead Thoraxian scientist transmitted. Their genetic resilience is extraordinary. They adapt to stress rather than dying. They evolved on a death world, Sarah explained. Earth isn't gentle. It's got extreme seasons, violent weather, aggressive pests, and diseases. Plants that survived there learn to fight back. Then they will teach our crops to fight back as well. The implementation moved with desperate speed. Thoraxian farmers planted the first Earth seeds within hours of the ship's arrival. The crops grew with startling vigor, their alien biochemistry compatible enough with Thoraxian soil to thrive. Within 2 months, the first harvest came in. Wheat fields golden in their Axis Prime's purple light. Corn stalks taller than any native plant. Potatoes yielding massive tubers in soil where nothing else would grow. The Earth crops didn't just survive, they dominated. Their aggressive root systems and efficient photosynthesis outcompete the blight for resources. Their genetic diversity meant that where one variety struggled, another thrived. Within 6 months, the famine projections changed from catastrophic to manageable to resolved. Sarah received a transmission from the Galactic Council. She expected reprimands for violating quarantine protocols. Instead, she found commendations and a request to expand the program. Dr. Chen, the council representative, said, "We have 47 other worlds requesting access to Earth's agricultural genetic database. Your planet's crops are saving civilizations." Earth's crops, Sarah repeated. Our gift to the galaxy. The human legacy. 5 years passed. Sarah continued her work, teaching alien species how to cultivate Earth plants, adapting them for new environments, sharing the agricultural knowledge humanity had accumulated across 10,000 years of farming. Earth remained silent, still under quarantine. But its children, the seeds scattered across 100 worlds, spoke eloquently of human ingenuity and generosity. On their axis prime, they built a monument in their capital, a massive sculpture of wheat stalks reaching toward the sky, with a plaque that read in 40 different languages, "Gift of Earth. Salvation of their axis. May we remember that the smallest seed can save a world." Other planets followed. The Valkyrie homeworld now grew cherry trees whose blossoms turned their capital city pink each spring. The Threen cultivated apple orchards in their ocean cities, the trees somehow thriving in the humid air. The Horrocks discovered that Earth strawberries could grow in their desert regions, bringing sweetness to landscapes that had known only bitterness. Earth's plants were everywhere now, integrated into alien ecosystems, feeding billions, creating beauty in unexpected places. Humanity's biological legacy spread across the stars faster than humans themselves ever had. When the 10-year quarantine finally lifted, the galaxy discovered an Earth transformed, economically independent, technologically advanced, and deeply respected. The deception was revealed, and rather than anger, the council felt something unexpected: understanding. "You did what you needed to survive," the Quillid elder told the human delegation. "And in doing so, you reminded us all what truly matters. Not power or wealth or dominance, but the willingness to help others survive as well." The vote was unanimous. Earth received full council membership with equal standing, its voice finally heard not as a supplicant but as a peer. Epilogue: The Last Garden. Sarah Chen retired from active research at 60, returning to Earth for the first time since that desperate mission to the Seed Vault. She found a planet transformed, its cities rebuilt with new architecture that blended human ingenuity with alien innovations, its people confident and purposeful. She visited Dr. Okoye, now leading Earth's council delegation. "We did it," Okoye said simply. "What you started that day, what you risked, it changed everything." "I didn't do it alone," Sarah replied. "It took all of us. Humans and aliens working together." "Speaking of which," Okoye handed Sarah a data pad. "The Thoraxians want to honor you. They're renaming their agricultural research institute after you." Sarah felt tears on her cheeks. "I just gave them seeds. You gave them hope. You showed them that even in their darkest hour, they weren't alone. That's what humanity brought to the galaxy, not military might or economic power, but the simple, profound truth that we're all in this together." Sarah spent her final years tending a garden in the Rocky Mountains, not far from the Seed Vault. She grew tomatoes and wheat, apples and corn, all the crops that had saved worlds. Visitors came from across the galaxy to see the garden and meet the woman who'd changed everything. Children, human and alien alike, would ask her the same question: "How did you know it would work?" And Sarah would smile and tell them the truth. "I didn't know. I just knew that we had to try. Because when someone needs help, you help them. That's what being human means. That's what being alive means." When Sarah died at 87, representatives from 40 worlds attended her funeral. They planted a tree in her memory, an apple tree grown from seeds she'd retrieved that desperate day, its roots deep in Earth's soil, its branches reaching toward the stars. And across the galaxy, in fields of purple grain and golden wheat, in orchards of alien fruit and familiar apples, in gardens where Earth plants and alien species grew side by side, Sarah's legacy lived on. Because she'd understood something the galaxy had forgotten, that the greatest power wasn't weapons or wealth, but the simple act of sharing what you have with those in need. Earth's plants fed billions now. Earth's compassion had changed civilizations. And Earth's choice, to help rather than hide, to share rather than hoard, had proven that humanity's place in the galaxy wasn't as conquerors or servants, but as partners. The humans had broken protocol to save them all. And in doing so, they'd shown the galaxy what they really were, a species that, despite all their flaws and struggles, understood that some things were worth more than survival. Things like compassion. Like generosity. Like the simple, profound act of planting a seed and trusting it will grow. That was humanity's true gift. Not their resilience or their adaptability, but their stubborn, beautiful insistence that everyone deserved a chance to thrive. And across 1,000 worlds, in fields green with Earth's legacy, that gift grew eternal. The end. If this story touched something in your heart, let us know in the comments which part resonated most with you. From HFY Codex Archives, thank you for joining us on this journey. Remember, sometimes the smallest act of kindness can save worlds.